Rebellious to the point I'm venomous. With a point I'm piercing. Fierce with a wing, like an eagle in the absence of glass ceiling. Hello everyone, welcome back to Poetry Journal Podcast. I am your host, Alex Murdoch, and I'm sure by now you know my format, my form of introduction. So I just wanted to just kind of throw this one out there to begin with, just a part fit of the piece, just a piece I'd wanted to kind of put out there, and just kind of give you the full-blown quote the second time around on this occasion. This piece, by the way, is called, I just want to show you the name I gave it, Toxic Drippings. Now, not the whole thing, but just the part of it. As per usual, just have the quotes there ready to go, as I do. So this is basically the piece for the week, and I thought, let me just come and just break it down and just share it with you, just give my opinion, and hopefully you can relate. Okay, here we go, the full thing this time. Rebellious to the point I'm venomous. With a point I'm piercing. Fierce with a wing, like an eagle in the absence of glass ceiling. Reforming to increase levels of refine, thus it takes time. But in the end, I'll be fine. Empowerment of my kind, so much echoes, foundations of ill matters, grows brittle with time. Lackluster periods in the mist should no longer exist in mind. And there you have it. And of course, I just wanted to kind of I've been kind of experimenting in a sense with just the flow of like the way I present my work. As you know, I'm in that space right now because I do like open mics, etc. I'm always trying to test out new things, and of course tonight, whoever's listening, you are officially a guinea pig of my endeavors when it comes to my pieces, my poetry, so don't take it personal. Had to be done. But really and truly, what was inspired by this was I was just listening to kind of like just stories, or like almost like a summary of Marcus Garvey and the whole ideology of what he was about, and like more like a light summary of his experience in the world. And it just dawned on me, what would that feel like? What would that conjure for other people? Like, or for himself, what would that look like? And I think that's kind of like, it just kind of inspired me to want to actually unpack, almost like maybe if I was that person, or if I was a person of that person that's actually made an impact on, and just kind of speak from those particular kind of perspective. And I think that's kind of in my mind anyway. That's what brought on this whole piece. And I feel like if I was to put it in layman terms, just what I wrote about, or what I just read, it's just the fact that I feel like there's something inspiring about somebody who believes in something as profound as he does. And for all who doesn't know, Marcus Garvey he was a Pan-Africanism, and he believed in Pan-Africanism, and he believed in all black people should have should want to know their history, and empowering their roots, in a sense of kind of like not just having knowledge of your roots, but in having that be the source of your strength, and make it be a sense of pride, in a sense. Now, of course, it runs very much deeper than that, but at the same time, I just want to give a quick gist of it. And these are the type of ideas in my mind, from the way I perceived it. I still want to do a lot more research on it, but these are the type of things that comes to my mind that, I felt like it was very inspiring just to hear about and to speak on, or even write something about. And just from what I understand, it was just, I think there's something powerful about that whole premise, to the point where it's actually infectious for people, not just people, but people that can actually grasp where he's coming from, or what his ideology is. Of course, there's the idea of a premise, and then there's actually the reality. And of course, those are two different things. So we're pretty much just speaking on just the whole ideology of it. And I just think, just the idea of like the roots, you just following your roots, I think it resonates with me, because I'm pretty much a person of that belief anyway, in terms of like, there's something enriching in acknowledging your roots and being proud of your background, your growth, and everything that traces back to the beginning of your origin, in a sense. So I think that's where I was coming from, and from just the whole idea of what he stood for, and just the fact that, he didn't just talk about it, he was about it, to the point where people felt threatened by him, and not just him, but the whole ideology, the influence of him. Do you get what I mean? And I think it was kind of like that type of person. He held to the kind of status of some of our juggernauts when it comes to people fighting for black people's rights, like the Malcolm X and the Martin Luther King, etc., etc. But I think again, all these people, it all starts with a belief and the ideology, but also the type of persona where people can actually, it's so powerful, everything seems so much more tangible when it comes to people like this. And the actions follow suit to really draw you in. And I think that's really what I'm speaking into. I think that's really what's, I feel is so interesting about it. But, and hence why I feel like there's so much power. There's so much power in a belief and, the premise of such. And when somebody's willing to die behind what they stand for, it makes it so much more, it makes it so much more powerful, it makes it so much greater, and it's so much more infectious to the point where it's almost like a venom. And so I hope that kind of makes sense. But I want to illustrate what I'm trying to say by moving on to my next piece. Growth is the matter. Revelation is a factor. Enacting the actions. Lit like blue lights. A yellow sun. In the passion. In a flash, I'm dashing. Like a match. All it takes is a flicker. Brain waves. Explosive matter. Ignite fire. For the daunting days. Unfortunate. For our essence have been caught in a maze. Time passed. As I'm left in a craze. Sanity was never defined. Thus I am left in a cage. It was never mine. Purple spine. It trickles with toxins. With every passing periods. A flicker. Then a tremor. Every time. And I think what I'm really trying to get at with this quote right here, I'm looking at from a different point of view now, where I'm almost like trying to think about what the purpose at which he's, people such as like a Malcolm X or a Martin Luther King would be motivated, why they would be motivated. And just when you think about the type of people or what they see when they look at people, and it's almost like you're caught in a trap, or you're caught in a situation where they almost feel obliged to not allow you to just, they can't help but alleviate your situation in any way they see fit, even if it means endangering their own situation, their own life, because you sometimes you're your worst enemy. And I think a lot of the time that's by design. it could be because of the situation where it could be your surroundings, where you're caught in a situation where you don't know any better, or you're in such a environment where you had no chance. There was not a chance of you kind of relinquishing your shackles by yourself, because you never had the ability to see beyond your entrapment, your prism, those bars, those mental bars, and so over time it's kind of like inside your mind, it's almost like you're dripping. Inside your body, it's almost like you're dripping with toxins. You're dripping with only things that can keep you shackled. It can keep you in a space where you'll never be free from your situation. You never be free from what's been holding on to you for all those years. And when you think about things like this, it's almost like decades, years upon years upon years, where you're stuck in this one situation, and all of a sudden, couple of years go by, and so you know there's another way now. You're aware of it, but how can somebody undo, like, say 10, 15 to 20 years of just of knowing one way that is the worst way for yourself, for your well-being, and they're gonna undo that in what, 3 years? But it speaks to it's impossible, of course, but it speaks to the power of belief and the level at which, do you know how much conviction that takes to be able to even make somebody think twice about their situation, to want to be better for themselves, for their people, to want to do better, more so. I don't know, I just feel like there's so much power in not only Marcus Garvey, but people of his ilk, in a sense. And it was quite inspiring when I listened to it. I'm still obviously I still want to read more about it and do more research, but I heard enough to kind of make me want to speak, or really just go into it and really ponder. And I was antagonized to the point where I decided to create some art. So I hope everybody understand where I'm coming from, and I hope it resonate. And as always, just if you ever feel to reach out or share your thoughts, not hard to find. But as always, Poetry Journal on Instagram at Poetry Journal, PO3TRYJOURNAL. Thanks to all the listeners. I appreciate you. And until next week, thank you. Take care.